Here I would like to show you the Confidea wireless system that we have on display here, which has been introduced over a year ago now. Confidea is a wireless conference system that is quite unique in the market. It has, first of all, a multi-band functionality. Why multi-band? Well, most of the wireless conference systems that are out there work on the 2.4 GHz band. This is a band that has been used by a lot of electronic equipment nowadays, which means that the 2.4 band is usually very crowded with other RF signals. Having a wireless conference system means that you also need to have a reliable RF link. With all the other RF equipment that is around, it's difficult to do. Therefore, we have added a multi-band feature, which means that when the 2.4 GHz band is too crowded, the system will automatically switch to the 5 GHz band, where there's a lot more free space available. The Confidea is a wireless system that comes in different types of units. There's a basic discussion unit, just for discussion. There's a unit that includes also voting functionality. We have also units that include simultaneous interpretation. And then finally, we also have units that include all functionality: discussion, voting, and simultaneous interpretation. Confidea is capable of handling up to 40 channels of simultaneous interpretation, which makes it also unique in the market. The system is very easy to set up. It only requires a wireless access point for basic discussion. A wireless access point that we can see here. And this wireless access point has an integrated web server that makes control very easy just using a standard internet browser. In the access point, there's also a spectrum analyzer that enables you to see what the activity is in the different RF bands that are available to the system. So you don't need additional expensive equipment to figure out on which band the system would ideally operate. Maybe I can show you some of the features on the software. As you can see, we are using a standard internet browser to visit the web server which is inside the access point, and it shows immediately what frequency we are working on. So we are working here on a frequency of 5.785 GHz. And then this feature enables us to see the activity in the different RF bands. As you can see here, this is the 2.4 GHz band that I talked to you about earlier, and as you can see, it's very crowded in there. So operating a conference system in this band here on the show reliably would be a challenge. So this is why we are working in the 5 GHz band. The higher band, the 5 GHz, is split up into three parts, and here we can see, for example, there's still plenty of rooms available here. In this band there's no other activity, so this is still completely free, and in the highest bands there is some activity, including our own system, which is situated here in this band. The system can be set to operate on a fixed frequency, but can also be set to switch automatically to another band whenever there's too much interference. So what the system will do, using its different antennas, is to measure the spectrum constantly, and when there is too much interference, it will move to a location where there is no interference. And in this way, it is possible to operate the conference system in a very reliable way. Some other of the features of Confidea we can see here in the setup. It's possible to see what the IP addresses are, what the software versions are, and so on. This here in particular, the conference management part, allows us to set a number of settings which are important for conferencing. For example, how many active microphones we want to have open, and how many interpretation channels that there are available. We can set the volume. We can also set the microphone mode in, for example, direct access or FIFO or override, whatever is required for the meeting. A particular interesting feature is the unit monitoring, which enables us to monitor the units which are in use during the conference without interfering with them. So there's it's possible for a technician, for example, to monitor the units while the meeting is going on, to see what the quality is of the RF link, the stability of the link, but also to see the battery status. So when, for example, one of the batteries is running out, it can be detected from a distance without interfering with the unit. And at, for example, the next coffee break, it's easy to just replace one of the batteries. Another feature which is asked for quite a lot is the encryption feature. It's possible to encrypt all the communication that is going over the RF link with a 128-bit encryption key. So this system is very secure and in fact has the possibility to encrypt all the data so that whenever a confidential meeting is going on, that only the units which carry the encryption key that is used can decode the information that is transmitted over the RF link. Confidea Wireless also exists in a wired version, and this wired version can be coupled to the wireless systems without any problems. So it's possible to have a hybrid system existing of a wired conference system with some additional wireless systems added to it. This is the Confidea wired unit, which has the same form and the same functionality as the wireless version. So for the delegates, it really doesn't matter whether they're working with a wireless or a wired version of Confidea. The wired version also comes in different flavors, including voting, including simultaneous interpretation, or just for basic discussion. The unit that we have here, for example, is a Confidea DV, which is a unit that includes discussion and voting. This is the chairman version, and the chairman version allows the chairman also to control the voting from the unit. So the chairman can start a vote using the buttons on his unit. The voting results are immediately visible on the OLED display which is in the unit, and also all the delegates can see the voting results immediately. Then the chairman can close the vote, and then everybody can see the results on his unit.